important issue, but last December, gun control became the hottest issue in the country after those shootings at Sandy Hook. The call went out to tougher gun laws in states across America. But critics argue that these new laws won't prevent gun violence, and I totally agree, they won't. Charlene Israel has that story from ground zero in that debate, the state of Colorado.
Tough new gun laws are popping up across the nation. In New York, certain firearms have been reclassified as assault weapons, and those who own them must start registering them. The law also limits the number of bullets in magazines to 7. Connecticut added more than 100 assault weapons to its list of banned firearms. As for ammunition, magazines are restricted to 10 rounds. Citizens can keep larger capacity magazines in their homes and use them at the shooting range. Owners of those magazines or the now banned weapons have until January 1st to register them. On the national level, Senate Democrats failed in their bid to pass new gun control measures. The bipartisan proposal would have created tighter background checks, ban assault weapons, and ban large capacity magazines.
This effort is not over.
President Obama says his administration will now take steps on its own without Congress. Possibly the biggest surprise happened out west in Colorado, where ammo magazines will be limited to 15, and expanded background checks begin July 1st. The move comes nearly a year after that deadly mass shooting at an Aurora movie theater. New gun restrictions here in Colorado have sparked intense debate, even among law enforcement officials. Some claim the new rules violate the Constitution, and they're refusing to enforce them.
You know, as sheriff, I was elected to set the priorities for my agency, and that's not it. Turning law-abiding citizens into criminals is not my priority.
Weld County Sheriff John Cook joins more than half of the state's 62 sheriffs, challenging the new laws in court. He believes the laws would make it harder for people who want guns for legal purposes to get them. About a dozen sheriffs spoke against the new laws during President Obama's recent visit to the state, a trip he made to push his administration's gun proposals.
We're filing it in federal court under the 2nd and 14th Amendment that if you outlaw magazines, you're outlawing the gun, basically. And the Supreme Court has already said you can't outlaw the guns. And so we feel it's an infringement on our rights as law enforcement officers and for the citizens that we protect. So we do believe that it's unconstitutional.
Sheriff Cook also argues the new rules give a false sense of security.
They're trying to make everybody feel good. These are feel-good, knee-jerk reaction laws, and politicians, what they do is they say, oh, well, we had a tragedy, so we need to do something. I think they give the people that are naive a false sense of security, like, oh, now we're safer, when actually we're not.
You have your Colorado driver's license?
Mel Bernstein runs the Dragon Arms gun shop in Colorado Springs. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold once visited the gun store before killing 13 in the Columbine school shooting.
The kids were here 30 days before they shot up the school. They wanted to buy an MP5 and an M60 machine gun.
Anyone wanting to purchase a long gun in Colorado must be 18 and 21 to buy a handgun. Because Harris and Klebold were both underage at the time, an 18-year-old female friend of the pair was going to purchase the weapons for them. The M60 is a fully automatic machine gun and requires a 90-day waiting period. Because the boys wanted the weapons sooner, they declined to purchase from Bernstein. There is no waiting period for shotguns, semi-automatic rifles, or handguns. The girl ultimately purchased a rifle for them elsewhere, something considered an illegal straw purchase. Bernstein says stricter gun laws won't stop criminals from getting guns illegally.
No matter what laws they make, the criminals are always going to get a gun. There's millions and millions of guns out there.
Sheriff Cook points to the case of the Colorado prison official gunned down at his home last month.
The murderer had a long criminal history. I mean, was in prison for many years. A woman bought that gun to give to him. So he didn't go in to get the background check. He had a friend do it who could pass one.
Coloradans are mixed on the issue.
I think there's some really good measures that they're trying to attempt to put in place, but with the widespread use and ownership of guns across America, I'm not sure that the current measures go far enough.
I'm not sure that it makes a big difference because you can really, I'm a physician, you can really do a lot of damage with 15 bullets. Being a physician, I'm a fan of mental health.
And these are the ones that are in support of my stance.
Meanwhile, Sheriff Cook isn't backing down.
My philosophy has always been an armed society is a polite society. And so we don't need to make it more restrictive. We need to loosen up the laws because we already have thousands of laws on the books with gun control. And so this is the wrong direction.
Charlene Israel, CBN News, Colorado Springs, Colorado.